What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and we have a new study that just came out today supporting a fourth federal level stimulus check for Americans. And this is your stimulus check update and stimulus package update. Now, take a look, you guys. We've got articles coming out like this today. Stimulus check update, a fourth payment would be critical for many, study says. And you can see in the video footage here, it says Capital One Insight Center, study finds fourth stimulus is needed. Here's another one that came out today. Stimulus check update, a fourth payment would be critical for many. And another one we're going to be looking at in more detail. Stimulus check update, new study shows the need for fourth stimulus check. Now, I'm going to be diving into the details of these articles, letting you know what they're saying as they're pushing for support for a fourth federal level check. Now, right now, just to clarify, at this present time, the stimulus bill of $3.5 trillion, that reconciliation bill that they're working on right now in Congress, does not include a stimulus check in it, a fourth federal level stimulus check. Now, it is the second portion of the Build Back Better agenda, the infrastructure package for $3.5 trillion for human infrastructure, and it does include stimulus provisions of a child tax credit, free childcare, free college tuition, a ton of stimulus provisions, but there is no fourth federal level stimulus check. Now, at this time as well, we have moderate Democrats, Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin, that are calling to reduce the overall size of $3.5 trillion and cut it down and take out the stimulus provisions that are already in there or reduce the amounts, cutting down even the chances of including a fourth federal level check. However, on the other end of the spectrum, we have progressive Democrats saying we wanted $6 trillion, $7 trillion, $10 trillion. We wanted monthly reoccurring stimulus checks. We wanted federal unemployment extensions. And they're saying right now, with the supply chain issues, with the inflation that's on the rise, people need more support. So you guys, I would not rule out anything at this time, as we're going to be seeing as right now, we've got a lot of issues that are coming up and people still might need more stimulus support. And as we saw in the past with that second stimulus check, it came into play literally days before the package was signed into law. So you never know what could happen. And those of you that follow me here and there on the channel, you've seen that this could change day to day, hour to hour. And in addition to that, just yesterday, we received word that Congress now is thinking about taking that $3.5 trillion reconciliation stimulus bill and breaking that up into two separate parts as well, and passing some of it right now in 2021 and then passing more in 2022, which means if things start going down the wrong path for our recovery, they might include a second stimulus check, and we might see it in 2022. Now, I'll be sure to keep you up to date on everything as it unfolds here on the channel, let you know what's going on. But you guys, right now, that is where things currently stand. And now we have more support coming out from this study for a fourth federal level check. So let's go ahead and dive right in, get you caught up on the latest as of today, October 14th, 2021. But before we do, if you could do me a quick favor, just takes a second. If you appreciate these updates, keeping you up to speed on everything that's going on, and yes, I know there's a lot, don't forget, take a quick second to smash the like button. I would appreciate it. Helps out the channel a ton, lets the algorithm know that you appreciate the updates, and they're going to continue to promote my channel and my videos. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments. I love hearing your thoughts. Share this out if you think it's going to help out other people. If this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, come join the viewing community. I want you here. I'll keep you up to speed. Come join the Ram fam. And if you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3, which is by far the best way to get a hold of me if you got any specific questions. And always use caution here on YouTube, because we get the scammers that go into the comment section. They claim that they're me. They take my picture, they use my name, and then they say, contact my assistant on WhatsApp. And they ask for your personal information or for you to give them money. You guys, that's not me, okay? I don't have a WhatsApp, I don't have an assistant, and I don't randomly ask you to donate me money in the comments, okay? I'm just here to get you caught up on the latest. So with that being said, let's go ahead and do that. Let's take a look at these articles. Links in the description below. You can see them for yourself as we have new support coming out right now from this study coming out for a fourth federal level check. Let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, you guys, so link in the description below to this article if you'd like to check it out for yourself. I always cite my sources so you can see them and read them on your own. And the article says, as the U.S. confronts rising inflation, slower job gains, and a crippling supply chain, a new study finds that Americans most in need of a stimulus check at the beginning of the pandemic continue to suffer the most. And what we've heard is that, yes, the lower income earners are still suffering from the pandemic. They're calling this a K-shaped recovery, in which the rich have already recovered or didn't even feel devastation whatsoever, and the poorer income earners are suffering and are still suffering to this day. Let me know if you're in that situation right now in the comments down below. Now, there are 3 rounds of stimulus checks spanning 2 presidencies they're saying were critical for lower earners. Researchers from Capital One Insight Center found, but didn't go far enough. They're saying that those 3 checks were good, but more is still needed. The study started in the spring of 2020 with the authors administering surveys to a nationally represented group of Americans every 4 to 8 months to learn more about the virus impacts from how they use their stimulus checks to their view on the U.S. economic recovery. Now, the respondents fell into 3 annual income groups, so this is how they studied them. Those that made less than $25,000 per year, $25,000 to $100,000 per year, and those that made over $100,000. Now, lower earners were much more likely than other groups to have spent their final stimulus payments on bills, the study found. Now, part of the reason for that, researchers said, was the lack of recovery for the nation's poorest. And what we're hearing is that those that were the lower income earners, they have suffered by far greater than any other of these groups. Now listen to this, a lopsided recovery. The article says that the study found that while job and income loss was devastating during the spring of 2020 during the pandemic, how Americans fared in the year since varied greatly depending on several factors. During that spring, 32% to 36% reported income loss, a number that hasn't changed much in the lower third of earners. So the lower income earners are still suffering. Now, for the other 2 groups, however, the study found that only half of the respondents were still reporting income loss. So about half of the other groups already recovered, and underemployment was also 12% more likely among Black and Hispanic Latino workers than white workers. Economic insecurity was also a common theme among middle earners. However, the study found that debt levels were higher for 1 in 5 respondents in spring of 2021 than before the pandemic. And in 2020, real incomes and the number of full-time workers were already tumbling. Now, according to the U.S. Census findings, the median household income in the U.S. went down by 2.9% from $69,000 roughly in 2019 to $67,000 in 2020, the first time it had significantly dropped since 2011, the last recession. Now, the real median earnings fell 1.2% from $42,000 to $41,000, as did the number of full-time workers, which fell by 13.7%. And we've heard before, too, that stimulus checks, by far, they're saying, are the #1 provision out of all of the stimulus bills that came out that fights against poverty for families, children, and individuals. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, but that's the study that just came out that is supporting a 4th federal level stimulus check, saying especially the lower income earners really could use it at this time. Now, as I mentioned, as more information rolls out, I'll be sure to keep you guys up to date. Currently, it's not in the stimulus bill. The Reconciliation 3.5 stimulus provisions do not include a 4th federal level check, but as we mentioned, you can never rule it out with Congress because things might change day to day and sometimes hour by hour. And you guys, I will keep you up to speed. And also, as I mentioned, they're breaking up the stimulus bill right now. They're saying into 2 separate parts. And if they do that, that means they might pass provisions now and they might pass more provisions later, and we will see what provisions could get included. And I'll be sure to keep you up to speed here on the channel. But as always, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget to take a quick second to smash the like button. Helps out the channel a ton. Leave your comments, share this out. If this is your first time here, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to stay up to date on all this stuff. And if you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. But with that being said, you guys, hope this reaches you well. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.